this area. I mean, I suppose these cells that are on the northern end of this could survive the trek towards Carbondale, but I doubt it. That would be where I would be watching. So if you're inside of that circle the next 2 hours, any of these three cells could produce tornado or large hail. And it's now 3:18 in the morning. Again, meteorologist Snow Bergman and Nolan Kane here. Nolan, I tell you what, you have that mic on? Is it on?
Yep, it's on.
Pick that up now. If you're still back there, Alex, can you switch to weather 2 if anybody's in there? Weather 2 at the wall.
Because yeah, it looks like the velocities on this are not together, thankfully, but they're strong in both directions. Teal and the red. Looks like weather 2 is still not up there.
Go ahead and talk through it real quick while I post this out.
So pretty much this system is going to be, this cell is going to be making its way northeast toward Marble Hill in the general vicinity within the next 15 to 20 minutes here. Let me go ahead and check the, see if we got any correlation dropout just to keep everything on a swivel here. It looks like there's no debris dropout, thankfully, so we don't have any ground truth to it yet. We don't have any ground truth. I don't expect any ground truth. And the system down to the south going toward Poplar Bluff, even though it's outside of our area, it still has a pretty decent amount of rotation still in it here. Let me go ahead and check that one as well, just to make sure we don't have anything. Thankfully, nothing.
You're good.
Okay, thank you very much. Right now, that next cell, and looks like there's no update to that one just yet. It's paralleling Missouri Highway 34 toward Marble Hill. Scopus, you guys might be toward the hail part of this cell. However, it is still too close for comfort. Anyone out in front of this now, there's a new update, and it's still showing that a pretty decent amount of teal and the red couplet. Right now, the screen is going toward the radar site, so that's moving toward the northeast, and the red is moving away from the radar, moving back to the southwest. You can see where these two meet. We've got rotation in this storm. And currently, it's going to make its way toward Marble Hill within the next 15 to 20 minutes. I'm not sure if they're going to extend the warning past that toward Jackson. We'll have to watch where that goes in the next few minutes as well. Let's switch back over to reflectivity on this one. As you can see, it still has a pretty decent amount of inflow going into it here. And I'm seeing quite a bit of heavy rain. I don't see the hail core in this, thankfully, anymore, where that pink's not showing up. But we still have to keep our eyes out for some potentially large hails. These cells back to the south and west have also been producing large hail, some of which up to the size of baseballs at times. They give you a general reset on this here. Our only warnings are currently in southeast Missouri, where we expect a line of thunderstorms to make their way across the area around 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. this afternoon as that cold front rolls through. This is generally from a cap that has broke down toward Poplar Bluff and Cape Girardeau, Kennett. You guys may have a chance of a brief tornado within the next couple of hours or so as temperatures start to warm up this morning. In fact, we'll get up into the 70s once again for a little bit today. So it's going to feel pretty warm, and it is humid outside too, so we got a lot of moisture to work with. Let me switch back to the velocities on this just to make sure. And yeah, that rotation couplet is still there. A couple of areas of around 60 mile an hour winds going into it here. So still a somewhat strong couplet here on this storm, and thankfully not a lot of
You want to put a track on that?
Yep, let me go ahead and put that up here.
Walk people through that.
Let's see, that one's moving northeast at 40 miles an hour, and from what I am seeing, rotation is strengthening with this storm. Straight line wind gusts of 70 to 80 mile per hour gusts are possible from this system. So yeah, right down here where these teal pixels are, that is where we're going to see the potential for 70 to 80 mile per hour winds. Let me go and get that for you here. Based at 40 miles an hour. Here we go. Let's get that out for you. It's going to head toward the I-55 near Jackson, but at 339 Grassy, Marble Hill, Scopus, Millersville, and Jackson, You guys are in the path of this thing, and I've drawn it out from where that rotation is. Grassy, you guys have about 17 minutes to get to your shelter. I can only give you 15 just in case this thing does speed up a little bit. Marble Hill at 3:52. Scopa's just after the top of the hour, and Millersville at 4:11. Jackson until 4:18. And that is outside of the warning, but I would go ahead and treat it as if you were in the warning, as the rotation has been strengthening with this. It's more likely been on a cycle, and what that means is that the system generally decides to weaken for a little bit, gather itself back up, and it keeps going with the same amount of strength as it did earlier. So it's going through a periodic weakening and re-strengthening. Let's go back down to this cell, and notice the colors change since we're moving radar sites from the Paducah site down to Memphis, and there's still quite a decent couplet on this thing, and we are away from the radar site, so we're looking several thousand feet up into the atmosphere. And let me get the track on this one again. Moving northeast at 55 miles an hour, heading toward the Poplar Bluff area. As you can see, this thing's going to keep changing colors because we're right on that fringe area. Let me get this track out for you. 55 miles an hour. Move this out. There it is. So yeah, Poplar Bluff is right in the general track of this. Poynor at 333, Doniphan 340, both outside of the area. Poplar Bluff at 408, at Wapapello at 421 this morning. That's generally toward the north side of the cell, so you might be looking at the hail threat with this. But generally in this track of this cell, it could change to the north, it could change to the south. It's not going to change by a lot, but still anywhere inside of this cone, you guys need to be aware of this storm making its way toward your area. As I'm looking back down at it again, still pretty decent amount of gate-to-gate rotation right up against each other, and that will make its way over in the next few minutes. That couplet still up on the storm toward Marble Hill in 34, still showing some pretty decent signs of rotation. Now,
yeah, they're actually saying that it's strong enough to produce a significant tornado. I don't know if I see that right now. I mean, I get what they're saying, that the mesocyclone here with this cell that Nolan's got over Marble Hill.
Gotcha. And what I'm looking at here is what we call the correlation coefficient, and that's typically where we see stuff that is not rain versus stuff that is rain. And stuff that is rain shows up pink on that correlation coefficient, and thankfully we are not seeing a dropout. If we were seeing one, it would be sort of like this greenish color, but that is not a debris dropout. It would be more in a ball formation. And thankfully, we are not seeing a dropout at this time with this cell. So thankfully, it's not going to go, it's not getting near the ground right now. It doesn't have any ground truth as we speak.
And just want to reset you if you want to take a, I don't know if it's Alex or who's back there, but thank you for helping us out. If you want to take weather one real quick back. Give you a quick reset here of if you're just waking up and if you're an overnight worker or you're passing through or you're seeing this on Facebook, here's your big picture update of what's cooking right now. So there's this corridor here, basically out here, where the cap has broken, just enough to allow these storms to form. Outside of that area, so in all of these zones, turn off the arrowhead on that. In all of these spots here, the cap is still strong enough that I don't see really any risk at all overnight of severe anything. So it's really in that black dashed region. So Carbondale and Points West, Jackson, Marble Hill, Perryville, Fredericktown, Greenville, Wapapello, Poplar Bluff. And the good thing is about this southern cell, Nolan, is I think that a lot of this stuff that's out ahead of it,
that might affect the inflow of it. I think we're still on weather 2 right now.
I think we got one.
So Alex, real quick, please. Thank you. He switched it back. We're good.
So I don't know if you all saw that, but here's the what I was just showing and explaining is that if you're outside of this, I can redraw it for you here. if you're outside of this area, there's really no severe risk through the overnight at all. Just don't see it. So all of these spots, zero severe risk because the cap is in place, which is what I expected, and it's very strong and it's going to inhibit storm formation. Where that black dashed area is, and the black dashed area includes Poplar Bluff, most of southeast Missouri, west of Sikeston, Cape and west, and maybe like west of Carbondale and Anna, Illinois. Yeah, in that black dashed area, there could be a tornado or some damaging winds in the next few hours in these areas, but that would be probably the extent of it, I would think. And Nolan made this graphic I will update you for on this. This is a tornado watch officially until 9 o'clock in the morning. Again, I think it was issued really far east out of an abundance of caution. If I really had to pick out where the concern would be, it would be probably, again, something in this area. Because outside of that, these counties that are issued for the tornado watch in New Madrid, Sikeston, Caro, Vienna, Harrisburg, Pope counties, I really don't see any concern over in these spots. It's really inside of this black dashed area where there is a tornado watch through 9 o'clock in the morning that I could see a tornado or some wind damage. And the other thing too is it's ridiculously warm out right now. In fact, we're still near 80 at 3:30 in the morning. That is close to a record for the time of year. And in fact, you can see the behemoth of a front that is back here. And this is what's going to cause your storms for later today, probably between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. is all this cold air rushing in from the northwest behind it. But back to the radar now.
Yeah, that rotation couplet is still holding up pretty strong on Highway 34, Missouri 34.
And by the way, tremendous lightning. I mean, you want to talk about a light show. Count all this for you. 1,600 bolts of lightning in the last 30 minutes. That you're clocking about 54 bolts of lightning a minute.
It's almost 1 a second.
Yeah, just under 1 a second. That no one with the faster math than I could do, because I'm tired. But that's a lot of lightning, and you'll see that to your west. But let's put this back on the high res of the radar here. So this is where I'm kind of concerned, because there's a little velocity maxima here. So if you're just waking up or just joining us, and you just woke up from a tornado warning on your phone, if you're in Marble Hill, Missouri, you've got to get to shelter right now, because this signature does not look good to me.
Hey, Grassy, you need to be in your shelter immediately. It is within about a couple minutes of you now. The radar is delayed by a couple minutes. Marble Hill near Leopold, you guys also need to be in shelter as well.
If you're anywhere in or near Grassy or Marble Hill, Missouri, bathroom, closet, innermost room, cover and protect your head. That's where you should be right now. And new scan on the radar here. Yeah, that has me concerned. Right over County Road 820, right over Missouri Highway 34. If there is a tornado, it is right here, right now, right in that box. The way you can estimate tornado strength in real time is you take the wind in the blue, which is towards the radar. So towards the radar in this case is wind blowing towards the southeast, which the Paducah radar is that way. So wind blowing that way. In fact, let me put this arrow back on here that I turned off earlier. Arrowhead. So this is wind blowing this way, and this is wind blowing that way in the red. So green is towards the radar, red is away. And you can see the speed here in the blue is about 73, and over in the red it's about 20. So you're talking about a net almost 100 mile an hour rotational velocity. That's how we estimate that. So if there was a tornado, we're talking maybe EF-1, EF-0, probably EF-0. But this is still just possible. That's how fast the clouds are rotating just off the ground. The way we would confirm it is seeing debris, which we're not seeing debris in there yet, right where that velocity is. So this is still just a possible tornado. But again, if you're just waking up and just joining us, there is a tornado warning in effect for Bollinger County, Missouri until 4 o'clock in the morning. And that's a solid area of rotation. moving northeast at 50. This has a history of producing significant rotation back earlier in its lifespan. Not really significant right now, but here's where you need to be sheltered right now. This should pass safely to the north of Cape. Not really worried about that. Slow this down and show you here. So right where you see that couplet, that's the rotation. So Marble Hill, Scoopus, Millersville, Grassy, you got to be in shelter right now. This is a tornado that could be barreling upon you any moment here. That would be the tornado. Marble Hill, Scoopus, and then if it held together, Jackson, Missouri, about 4:06 in the morning, which would be safely to the north of Cape Girardeau. Other cell, there's another one back here near Doniphan, but again, as I would suspect, which thankfully the forecast looked correct, this is starting the weekend. Still a tornado warning for Ripley County till 3:45, but heads up if you're in the Poplar Bluff area, this is the track of that rotation. Puxico and Dexter. Flatwoods, Wapapello, Dexter, Doniphan, that would be the arrival time of that rotation that you see there coming up in the next 30 to 45 minutes. Behind that storm, there is another one down in Arkansas, but thankfully it's not that concerning. But really what has me concerned right now, Nolan, is this right here. And I tell you what, you want to try tracking at the wall? Want to try hand tracking?
Yeah, let's see if I can get that going here.
It should be pulled up for you. I'll put this on the radar and I'll let you try it here. I'll handle that with them. So no one's going to try to hand track that storm for you near Grassley, Missouri. So it should be ready for you. There's the remote.
Alrighty, let's just see if we got this thing working here, and let's pull this down. Zoom back into the storm here, down into Cape, near Cape. Okay, let's do this. Here we go. So this thing is moving northeast at 50 miles an hour. Let's go ahead and put the velocities back on here to show you where that strongest rotation is in this storm. And there we go. And there's the velocities. You can see this couplet right here moving toward Marble Hill. It's on top of Grassy, Missouri right now. Let's go in for a deeper view on this thing here. And you can see it's still got that well-defined couplet going parallel to Missouri Highway number 34 toward Marble Hill. And you can see pixels of around that light blue color. That's a little over 60 miles an hour heading toward the radar site. And again, it's not as impressive on the winds away from the radar, around 30 to 40 miles an hour, but when you put them together, close to 100 miles an hour, potentially, with this velocity heading toward Marble Hill. And just to keep my head on a swivel here, whoops, I went to the wrong graphic there. Let's put that back. There we go. Sorry about that. Now I accidentally moved that back over.
So I'll put this in the right mode for you. It's all right. There you go. One more time.
Sorry, I hit the wrong button there.
There you go. You should be good now.
Okay, there. Thank you. Let's go ahead and put our head on a swivel here. And did you turn the magic track off by chance?
No, you're good. So go ahead, hit the menu, and then go to move.
There we go.
Camera, then move.
There we go. It's not reading my hand motion very well there. There we go.
So hold one finger out further than the rest, and that should be good for you.
Okay, yeah, we're going to have to move this.
There you go. Always hold one finger out further than the rest of your hand. There you go.
It's going to take me a minute to get this back over to Missouri here. In fact, let's just go back home and zoom into the area. Thankfully. But overall, this cell, thankfully, has not dropped a tornado on the correlation drop out there. Thankfully, we have not had that just yet. In fact, let's go in right there. Zoom back in toward Marble Hill. Thankfully, it doesn't have that strong of a hook signature anymore. I actually had a well-defined one there for just a second there. Let me zoom back in toward Marble Hill. That way we can get the CC scope, and then let's see if we get a debris drop out on this. There. As you can see, it doesn't look like we had that kind of debris drop out. It's very messy, and that pink shows us that we are seeing that dropout not happening. So thankfully, nothing just yet. Let's get this back over to the velocity signature here. And, whoop. let's get this back to the velocities. Yeah, you can see that couplet is still paralleling Missouri Highway 34 toward Marble Hill. Thankfully, it's not on the ground at the moment, but in Marble Hill up towards Scopus. You guys are in the warning, mainly toward the hail threat, but it's still a little bit too close for comfort. Get in the shelter now. Central most room, basement if you got one. If not, that's fine. You need to get in the central room, preferably a bathroom. Cover your head. Just treat it as if it were on the ground right now. Even though we don't have any ground truth to it, it might drop one in between radar scans. There might be between, because this updates every 4 or 5 minutes or so, and in between them, we may not see where one could drop. So treat this as if it was on the ground at the moment, and that couple is making its way along Highway 34, Missouri Highway 34, toward Marble Hill. And have you got any updates over there, Noah, on any sort of
Weather Service still saying that area near grass is very concerning. I tell you what, see if you can zoom in, give a little street level view of where the actual couplet is. Like zoom down in a little more, read off some streets to see where that is. You should get a new scan in here in a minute or two. Yeah, that's some pretty strong rotation over Grassley.
Grass right on top of them.
It'll be interesting to see one more scan. That if there was a tornado in Grassley, we would see it. We would see the debris on the next scan.
Looks like County Road 808, 506, 512. Looks like it's past 820. I'm trying to see the ones behind my back here. County Road 502 and 503. There's the new scan. So let me go ahead and zoom back out on this. Okay, so it looks like it's far enough from the radar site.
I think we've got confirmation now on the radar of debris.
Debris now?
Yeah.
Let me go.
Yep, wow. Yep, that's a tornado. Hang on, I'll help.
No, if you want to take
so
that one.
Put the CC tracker on that. Put the CC, so go to track, CC scope. If you're, as Nolan's doing that, if you're in Marble Hill, Missouri, you must get to shelter now. Go ahead and draw that, put that scope over there. There you go, Nolan.
There it is, right there. This little blue dropout right here. That's where we have debris getting flung up into the storm. It's something that is not rain. So this indicates there is debris flying around. Marble Hill, you guys need to be in shelter immediately. Central most room possible, and basement if you've got one. As we see that, is it still tracking northeast at 50?
45. So I tell you what, clear off the debris. Let's go back to velocity and let's put a track on that.
Gotcha. So the velocity is just, it's that far away. It's got that purple range.
I mean, move the camera just a little bit to the west. So camera move and then move it a little bit west. So again, if you're in Marble Hill, Missouri, this is an observed tornado. This is radar confirmed. There is a tornado ongoing right now at 3:40 in the morning. If you're just waking up, maybe you're watching us in Cape Girardeau and you have family in Marble Hill, Missouri, you must wake them up now.
There it is. PDS warning now in effect. They switched the color for it.
So I tell you what, zoom this out, zoom it out a click or two, and let's get a track on this first, then we'll give the update on the warning. So zoom it out once or twice, and let's get a track on it. So that's good. Now start the track from probably about the A in Marble Hill.
Let's see here. There we go. Cone. Come on, select there. There we go.
45 miles an hour northeast.
Get that close as we can to 45.
Perfect, right there.
Bingo, right there. Marble Hill, 347, 6 minutes away. I'd only give you 3 or 4 in case this thing speeds up back to 50 again. Scopus, 355, Jackson at 410, Grand Tower, 430 if it were to hold together, and Jonesboro, Illinois at 440. Again, if this holds together, this is where that current cap is. However, where that cap has broken Missouri, you can see it's already starting to drop a few stronger signatures out in front of this, and that's where we still have to keep an eye on the one down in Missouri, but thankfully it looks like that one's weakening. But the one of concern right now is heading toward Marble Hill. Let me go ahead and clear this off here and zoom back into the zoom back toward Marble Hill here. That way we get a better idea of where this is heading. There we go. New scans just now coming in. As you can see, it's right on the edge of the range here. As you can see, that couplet is still showing up. Let me go.
I'll tell you what, let's put the CC tracker back on. Let's look at that because it's going to be hard to get this. And I can tell you, I think it might be passing just north of Marble Hill.
There it is still.
But that is 100% without a shadow of a doubt debris. And let's clear this off now and give people the update on that polygon warning. So maybe put the reflectivity on, then click the warning.
Maybe get this.
So we can read the information of that warning. Yeah, it's probably right to the northwest of the M in Marble Hill is where the tornado would be.
Okay, let me get this warning up here. There we go. So okay, this goes until 4 a.m. Considerable threat tag and observed tornadoes. We've already seen on the correlation dropout, the debris dropout. Hail up to 1 inch in size, so thankfully the hail sizes went down, but still, the considerable threat tag tornado is on the ground. We've seen the debris drop out, and it is moving toward Marble Hill. It is way too close for comfort for you guys. You need to be in shelter immediately in case this thing decides to turn back to the south here. Let's put this back on velocity real quick. And yeah, wow, that is a strong couplet there. That dark blue, that could potentially be a 90-mile-per-hour wind pixel there. And this red, even though we can barely see it, it's probably close to around 40 to 50 miles an hour. In fact, let's see if I can get, or actually, you know what, let's do this. Come on, there we go. Let's move this down just a little bit to give you a street view here. Scopus, you guys are way too close for comfort in this cell. It's paralleling Missouri Highway 34. At Marble Hill, it is almost on top of you. It's going to cross Missouri Highway 51 right around now as we speak. It's going to continue paralleling Highway 34. Leopold, it is still too close for you guys. You need to be in shelter immediately in Marble Hill. This is going to be moving over within the next 2 to 3 minutes as we continue to track this one on the ground at the moment. And, Noah, have you got any new damage reports coming from this yet? Or
So I tell you what, I will, if you want to step off for I tell you what, you want to stay there, I'll drive the radar for you, and you can just talk through. I'll drive it and move it for you, and you can talk through what I'm saying.
we should be getting a new velocity scan pretty soon showing the clear picture of it here.
This is a strong tornado. This is I'm seeing debris potentially up to 10,000 feet, if not more. Wouldn't shock me if this is an EF-2 tornado ongoing right there.
Okay, you can see where that hook's coming in. It's not very definitive, but you can see where that little notch is in the radar, right where that Noah's got that circled. Considerable threat tag observed on the ground, and we've seen it in the dropout. And there's a new PDS warning right there going toward Jackson, Pocahontas.
So we're going to have a lot of people join this now who are in the Cape Girardeau area because your tornado warning sirens and your phones are going to go off in Cape Girardeau. There is no threat to Cape Girardeau, but if you're in Pocahontas or just to the north of Jackson, Missouri, this is a large, extremely dangerous and potentially violent tornado that is ongoing right now.
Did you turn off Magic Track by chance?
Yes.
Okay.
I tell you what, you want to put a track on here, and I'll drive this for a second. That other one.
Did you say it was moving northeast at?
Check out the other one too. Make sure I don't miss anything while I do this.
Okay, they've canceled that tornado warning to the south.
So I really want you guys to get to shelter now. If you're just north of Marble Hill, near Scopus, this is a large tornado. That right there is a tornado. There is, without a shadow of a doubt, this cell has tapped into everything in the atmosphere, and I'm going to scroll this back here so you can see.
It looks like it's took more of a left turn now towards Scopus. So if you're in Scopus, get into shelter immediately. We have ground truth for this storm. In fact, right there, where that little green dropout where he's pointing with the arrow going toward Marble Hills, we speak right there. That's where we've had observable debris on the radar, and that is not rain. That is debris getting flung into the air, and it has took more of a northeast turn heading right for Scopus, Missouri right now. You need to get into shelter. Let's go ahead and zoom in. Thank you, Noah.
So here's where you need to be sheltered right now, right off some of these roads. This is on the ground. I cannot stress you need to, I know many of you might be far away from this, but if you have family here northwest of Cape and near Jackson, Missouri, this is potentially life-threatening if you're not sheltered. I have a horrible feeling that there is a large tornado as we're speaking to you right now.
Yep, Scopus, Millersville, Bufordtsville, you're too close to this thing. Everyone needs to be preferably in a basement if you've got one. It's going over County Road 310 right now, 318, 324, and then State Highway UU and County Road 304. It's going to be moving over you guys within the next few seconds here. And then County Road 370. anyone out in front of this toward Millersville, and let's get a few of these towns on here. Scopus, it's almost on top of you now. Jackson is going to be really close, and it will cross over Interstate 55 if it holds together, which from the way it looks like it is going to hold together. Scopus, 6 minutes away right now. It's probably less than that as the radar has not updated just yet. There's a new track there out for the next half hour. Millersville, 403, Oak Ridge, 411, and Pocahontas at 416 this morning for a potentially large and dangerous tornado on the ground. We do have that PDS tag, particularly dangerous situation tag.
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump in on you. This may be, what happens in tornadoes is sometimes they can occlude and wrap up on themselves. Supercells do weird things, and this kind of seems like it's taking on more of a left turn, just the way that this is tracking, so it wouldn't not shock me at all if this large tornado now is going to track, let me put a larger track on that. Ooh. Something a little more north than what we just tracked. I'm going to widen the cone so we get some more.
I mean, the velocity couple on this thing is still impressive. Well, those 10 pixels, a little over 70 miles an hour at least. Thankfully, I don't see any of those green or teal ones. But again, we are away from the radar sites, so we are looking into the storm. But again, we have had ground truth to this thing. We've seen it on the correlation dropout. Scopus, 4 minutes away now, less than that likely. It's going to be on top of you guys. Oak Ridge at 409, Pocahontas at 415, and if it holds together, Frona at 423 and Grand Tower at 429 this morning. Again, strong rotation. We've had ground truth with this tornado. As you can see, it has taken a very quick left turn here. It's going to be pretty fast here. As you can see, it took that left jump. It is now heading toward, well, I can't see any of the road names here. Let's get that off.
Sure.
It's near Pocahontas. It's going to cross over, you see here, is that Highway 72. So just now went over Missouri 51. Scopus, you need to be in shelter immediately. This is almost on top of you. County Road 322. County Roads number 324, 314, at 336, and even County Road 340. This is a tornado on the ground. We have seen the debris getting lofted as high as 10,000 feet on this. I'm sure we'll get an updated figure on that in a couple minutes here whenever we get another scan. But right now at Scopus, you need to be in shelter immediately from this tornado that has been observed on the ground. Millersville, Oak Ridge, you guys are in the path as well, as it will cross over Missouri Highway 72 and later on Interstate 55. So if you got people driving on I-55, get them to stop, pull over, or if you got people in Millersville, give them a call and wake them up, get them into shelter right now, as we have an observed considerable threat tornado, 354 in Scopus, less than 4 minutes away. If it's not already there, it's likely going to be going over in the next couple minutes. Oak Ridge at 411 and Pocahontas at 417. You guys are next in the path of this potentially life-threatening and dangerous tornado. Let's take a look.
Streets here.
Let's see if we can get the debris tracker back on this thing.
Sure, give me 1 second. We have reports of homes damaged now in Bollinger County. You can share that.
Homes damaged. Was there
Bollinger County.
Bollinger County?
Yep.
All right. Looks like it's crossing over County Road 310 now, 318. Missouri M, it's going to be going over you guys. County Road 336 and 324. It's going to get very close to Missouri Highway 34 here within the matter of the next couple of minutes here. There's the new scan going right over top of Missouri M at 310 and 318 now. And thankfully, it looks like it's not as well defined as it was earlier. It looks like my magic track's been turned off there. So let me step off real quick, see if I can get a debris tracker on this thing.
Sure, sorry, I was typing that out. I got you here. I'm going to go back out there. I got you. So here would be the debris tracker now, and that is certainly a... so what you're looking at here is that when we shoot the radar beam out, what happens is that it can tell us where there's things that are non-meteorological. So where you see this, we call it a dropout right here of green and yellow. This is where the radar is signaling that, hey, it's non-meteorological, things of dissimilar shape and size, meaning debris from homes, trees, cars, shingles, things of that nature. So this right here, co-located with the velocity, tells us instantly that that is a confirmed ongoing tornado.
And you saw that dropout was extending back into the storm. It's likely that debris is getting tossed up into the storm and probably flung out of the back of it here. So if you see stuff up towards Sedgwickville over the next half hour or so, if you find any debris that gets lofted up that way, I would recommend posting it, see if you can find the owners of it, because I'm sure they would love to get their stuff back. We've seen that time before. We've seen people help out with that before. Right now, Scopus is almost on top of you right now, 3:52 a.m. It's within a couple minutes of you now. If not, is on top of Scopus now. It's going to be moving toward Interstate 55 within the next 20 to 30 minutes. Jackson, Missouri, looks like you guys are going to be going it's going to be just north of you. I would still take shelter. Anyone in this polygon here, this PDS warning, needs to be in shelter immediately. We've seen that thing already take a pretty large left turn. Now it's heading for Oak Ridge at 4:09. If it were to hold together, it looks like it will hold itself together. Thankfully, that couplet is not as intense as it was heading towards Scopus earlier, but we still have that debris drop out with it. And I'm sure we'll get some more details coming up later on.
Here's a loop of the last 30 minutes. You can see it. I slowed it down for you. You see the progression of it. A lot stronger back here.
So thankfully, it looks like it has weakened a little bit now, but still, we are seeing that debris track on it. So right now, that PDS warning is still continuing. Oak Ridge, you guys are next in the line of this. Hail up to 1.5 inches in diameter. So if you got a car up toward Oak Ridge or anywhere just outside of this warning, I'd recommend go ahead and put it in the garage or putting something over it. Right now we have that tornado still reported on the ground near Scopus, Missouri. Right now it's heading toward Millersville and then Oak Ridge and then Interstate 55 if it continues to hold together here. Let me see if I got my magic track back on here. I don't know if I do. I don't. And there's the new scan. You can see it's still not as well defined as it was earlier, but the couplet is still there right on top of town. And it's heading parallel to, let me see, it's at Missouri Highway 34. Trying to see what road number that might be here. Okay, so yeah. So Interstate 55 is in the path of this thing, Oak Ridge, Millersville. You guys need to be in shelter for a potentially large tornado that was reported back to the west of Scopus. Had a very well-defined rotation couplet. We saw a debris drop out on it. Thankfully, that couplet has started to weaken just a little bit. The velocity signature is weakening, but we still have that debris drop out. As long as we have that there, we have concern that this tornado is still on the ground and an ongoing threat. Noah, have you got any more?
So I tell you what, we want to give a quick reset update for everybody on. I'm sending out a quick.
Okay, it looks like a new tornado warning down toward Poplar Bluff.
So I tell you what, let me zoom that in for you while I type this. So you can show where that is.
And yeah, this one's not as well defined, but you can see where that teal is. Again, this is way up in the atmosphere, so we're looking at the upper levels. That goes until 4:30 this morning for a radar-indicated area of rotation, just to make sure we don't have a debris dropout on this one. Okay, so I still don't have control here. But right now, that is moving northeast at, let me see if I can get the speed off this thing.
So you're not going to be able to move it when I've got the manual to drive it through here with you? Remember?
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm just trying to multitask to help out here.
Okay, so it looks like we don't have a debris dropout on this cell down in going toward Poplar Bluff. So that's good news. But yeah, that debris is getting flung from the Scopus storm into the atmosphere now. So at Sedgwickville, you might see some debris, especially on Highway 72, Missouri Highway 72.
Yep.
We're starting to see that debris get flung up into the storm. So if you find any debris up towards Sedgwickville, post that on social media. You may actually find the owners of their possessions. Wow, that couplet has weakened considerably now.
Yeah, so good news here, Nolan, is that as you see this polygon, this is just a tornado. I don't know why it's doing that. This is a new, come on, darling, just a regular tornado warning for Northern Cape in northern Bowling County. So real quick, I want to do a quick reset for everybody and remind everybody of what's going on, because I know a lot of you might have just woken up and you're saying, what is going on? And you might not be anywhere near this. You might be in West Kentucky, Tennessee, or Illinois. We talked about this on the news at 10, and I talked about it extensively. in this area, the atmosphere is capped, meaning there's a lid over it, figuratively, preventing storms from forming. I don't see any concern through the next few hours in this area. So if you're in the dashed region I just drew, anywhere in here, there's no risk of anything severe.
Okay, good news is the debris signature is getting a little bit less defined on here
Good.
now.
So there's no risk in there, but just to the west of there, where we currently have these storms, they were able to penetrate the cap and produce severe weather. So that is the region we're concerned about the next 2 hours. So if you're in the Paducah area, anywhere of West Kentucky, anywhere of Tennessee, anywhere of Illinois, outside of like Carbondale or Grand Tower, you're fine. There's no risk. This is not coming this way. It's moving this way in the next few minutes. So real quick, let's start at the bottom of the line. We have a tornado warning here that's going to include the city of Poplar Bluff. That's going to go till 3:46 in the morning. Quick check of velocity. Yeah, there might be a potential for a tornado here, right here, passing to the north of the city along Highway 67, but that's a weak area of rotation in my opinion right now. Up further here, we had this, as Nolan accurately described to you, PDS, that stands for Particularly Dangerous Situation Tornado Warning. That's in the pink. The pink box delineates a higher end tornado warning. The red box is a standard regular roll tornado warning. The pink box indicates that it was observed, tornado was reported to emergency management, and therefore we, the meteorologists, the weather service, and here at the station got that, which is why that was issued as an observed tornado warning. That's probably going to be dropped here in the next few seconds, so that pink box will go away, and we're just going to be left with this red polygon for what now is, I'd probably say, a possible tornado, and I'm going to explain to you why. So what you're looking at in velocity data is the wind blowing to and away from the radar. So right back here, what you're looking at is the wind that was blowing. This is not the live radar. Notice the time in the top right. This is 3:43 in the morning. What you're looking at here is the wind that was blowing very strong away from the radar here. The radar is in West Paducah, so the red would be away, blowing east to northwest, southeast to northwest. And the green is towards the radar. And when you combine these outbound velocities, so the red would be 71, 80, with the blue, which would be about 30, at this instant in time, it was about 110 mile an hour rotational velocity right here. So that's how we can estimate the strength of the tornado. And I want you to notice the colors of that there at 3:44 in the morning, and watch this as I play it forward now to the real live moment. Follow this right here. That's called a couplet in meteorology, where the winds blowing opposing each other and producing a tornado. Follow along this as it goes up here, and you'll see it weakens dramatically in the last few minutes. So good news. I think this is certainly lifted right now. If I had to guess, the tornado is no longer on the ground.
Yeah, debris signature is completely gone. It's just
Still
all
some
the
strong
flung
winds
stuff.
in here, but you can see that the wind blowing toward the radar here and away here, it's very broad and it's very loose. So this is not anything on the ground anymore, and we'll zoom this out and put the debris tracker on this for you.
Yeah, the stuff getting flung out of it's still being shown
Yeah.
up.
This was the tornado back here. That was probably a significant, I would venture to guess that was an EF-2, but we'll await the damage off of the radar right there, west of Marble Hill. And follow that dot. Wherever you see this dropout surrounded by the magenta, that tells us a non-meteorological object in the sky, which indicates tornado debris. And this was at 3:38 in the morning. Tornado first touched down. You see some of the debris fanned out to the north like this. Still there, a tornado just north of Marble Hill. Tracked to the northeast, then probably lifted right just before 4 o'clock, so about 2-3 minutes ago. And now here we are at the live moment. Still might be some leftover debris north of it, but I do not think this is any more an active tornado. So to me, it looks like we had a tornado touch down first, reported about 3:37 in the morning, right here, and became strong and violent, and that tornado tracked a path like this before lifting at about 4:01 in the morning. And here right now, Nolan, it certainly looks like that has lifted. So good news there.
Yeah. So if you find any debris getting flung out of it towards Sedgwickville, Friedheim, Daisy, or even Beale, maybe Old Appleton, but that's a bit of a stretch. Post that on social media if you find something with a name on it, or post it anyway. That way you can potentially find the owners of it, and I'm sure they would love to have their stuff back. As we've seen it time before, we've seen stuff get returned to owners even in the more considerable situations.
And what we're more concerned about right now even is being in the middle of the night, is people's safety. You're not going to see this in the middle of the night. Thankfully right now, coming up on 4:03 in the morning, this does not appear to be an active tornado no longer. But if you're going to be, if you happen to be somebody who watches us and watched this coverage just to the north of Marble Hill a few minutes ago, that was a large tornado that formed. And there's probably glass everywhere and significant debris. Now that's going to be, let me put the distance on here. That tornado was a solid 80 miles to the northwest of Paducah. That's where it touched down. There's also still another active warning back here near Poplar Bluff, Missouri. Multiple homes damaged in Bollinger County. Law enforcement is reporting this to us. We're getting this information now. Unknown if there's any injuries or fatalities at this time, but can 100% confirm and pass along that multiple homes have what is believed to be significant damage in Bollinger County, Missouri. Which, again, if I had to venture to guess, that would have been, just scroll
There was a pretty intense dropout on County Road 508 and 808 around 338. So I suspect that might be where one of the largest damage was.
Glen Allen, small community of Glen Allen. That was a strong, look at that. So disregard that purple. You might be curious, like, what in the heck is that? So see this little ring of purple? Nolan showed this earlier. Nolan did. This is going to always show up a certain amount of ways away from the Paducah radar. Really, we need a radar in southeast Missouri, but the point is, disregard that purple ring. It's just a meteorological artifact. Just focus on this little area right here, very bright blue next to very bright red. This was at 3:42 in the morning. That was wind of 98 miles an hour next to 40. So what's 98, 40?
Almost 140 miles an hour,
So
138.
What's EF-3 start at? Do you remember off the top of your head? I think that would be probably high-end EF-2.
If not
an EF-3.
at minimum, at the most low-end EF-3.
So remember that the National Weather Service will do a storm survey for this area, but certainly just going off the radar and some new research that we have available to us to estimate this, I'd say that that was in fact at least an EF-2, if not an EF-3.
Yeah, EF-3 starts at 136.
So yeah, and that was at 3:42 in the morning, and you can see there's the city of Marble Hill right here, and that would have been the strong tornado that passed over Missouri Highway 51, went up towards Scopus, excuse me, and then lifted before it got to northern parts of the next county over. Still some strong wind down here near Poplar Bluff, but there's nothing in here that's screaming that there's a tornado on the ground or could be any moment, but just out of precaution, there's a tornado warning still for Butler County that's going to go till 4:30 in the morning. There's also another cell here in northeast Arkansas for parts of Landolph, Sharp, and Lawrence County, but don't see anything concerning there. But let's see if I can pull up the zoomed out radar from my 10 o'clock news. That's not going to be right. I want to show you the radar to our west, because these are going to be storms for later today, and no one's going to be in this morning tracking these for you. So notice this line of storms here. So for the rest of y'all who are watching and you're saying, when is something coming here, meaning Tennessee, Kentucky, the rest of Illinois, this line of storms will be coming east later this morning. And I do think there will be some warnings in the Paducah area, Mayfield, Murray, Union City with that as it comes through later this morning. And we'll do a very rough track of this on here for you, moving east. I'm just trying to gauge the speeds of these guys here. All right, we're going to put them roughly at about 60, and you'll have to watch Local 6 today. Nolan will be in tracking these for you, but just very rough meteorology here. If you track these out, that would be the front. We're looking at, yeah, I think that's probably a little fast, 10:21 in the morning in Paducah. I'd say probably slow that down a little bit. This would be the arrival time of this next line of storms. That's behind what we have out there now in Missouri. So probably closer to maybe, I'd say 11 o'clock-ish in Paducah at the earliest, 11 to noon.
Yeah, where did you get that information again from the significant damage?
From the emergency management there, law enforcement.
Gotcha. Just making sure.
And we'll make sure to get this to the newsroom here in a second. So Jill, if you're listening, I'll come back there in a second. I'll let Nolan wrap this up because I think we're going to be able to get a break here from this. But all we can report to you right now is that significant damage in Bollinger County. Nolan accurately told you, and I told you this in real time, that was a violent tornado. I think we're going to get off the rest of the night okay. So as I told you on the news at 10, and I don't know if I have the graphics saved, I don't.
Yeah, thankfully, debris
Missouri was the area to watch, sorry, right out here.
Thankfully, the debris signature completely gone.
Yeah. So what's going on here now, too, is there's so much rain, notice here with this stuff, that I really think that it's all going to weaken. So there might be some showers that make it, closer to Kentucky here in a few hours, but really don't think there's going to be any severe anything. For the core of our area, now not to distinguish the folks and the fine residents who watch us in Bollinger County, Missouri, but for the majority of the WPSD area, which would be in this circle, the majority of the region, there's zero severe threat. We had this one significant tornado out here and a couple of other warnings over here in Missouri and the western fringes of our area, but that looks like about it. You're welcome, for those of you watching our Facebook page on here now. So I tell you what, I'll put this back in play on the wall. You want to give a quick track and update of both tornado warnings, and then probably we can sign off.
Gotcha.
I'll let you do that, and then I'm going to go in the newsroom quick.
Okay, let me go ahead and get the wind speeds off these real quick here. So the northern tornado warning is moving northeast at 50 miles an hour. And this one is moving at 55 miles per hour. Let me go and get these up here for you real quick. All right, so right now temperatures are hanging around in the mid-upper 70s for this time of the morning. As you can see back toward Fredericktown where that rain had hit, it is a lot more mild out there at 68 degrees. Let me zoom this back in. Actually, let's change this over real quick to the radar. That way I can get a better picture of it here. Okay, let's zoom into this cell up toward Cape Girardeau, which produced that tornado back towards Scopus, Missouri, and the town of Glen Allen. That's moving northeast at 50 miles an hour. Let's get this moved out here so we can get a good track on it here. Right down in here is where it was. You can see now it's starting to merge with all this other heavy rain. So it's now going to clutter it up, and it's not going to be potentially producing a tornado unless it were to get out in front again. So that's close to 50 miles an hour. Pomona at 432, Carbondale at 443, Carterville 452, Marion at the top of the hour at 5, and West Frankfort at 5:06. And let's head down to this second warning down in southeast Missouri in Poplar Bluff. Thankfully, that one has shown less concern as in regards to a tornado potentially coming down to the ground. Let's zoom it back in toward Poplar Bluff. That one's moving at 45 miles per hour. And yep, that one actually does see all this rain in front of it. That's going to impede this potential cell's progress on it. Actually, I'm going to take a look at the velocities on that real quick just to make sure I'm not losing this thing here. Let me zoom this back out. All right, let me step off for just a second because my magic track is messing with me a little bit here. Again, that one's moving to the northeast at 45 miles per hour. And let's get this tracked off for you here. Okay, so Poplar Bluff at 414, Fisk at 426, Bloomfield at 448, Bell City at 5, and Van Duzer at 5:08 this morning. Let's take the velocities on this real quick just to make sure that you can see there is a lot of inflow in this potential cell right here. Let's see if we got any debris on it real quick. Okay, so the good news is there's no debris dropout on this cell. So that means we are seeing that this rotation is aloft. It is not coming down to the ground. And other than that, thankfully, no other tornado, nothing is on the ground now as we speak. Again, we had that tornado back near Scopus, and we'll get more reports on that later on in the morning today. The rest of the afternoon, we are going to be seeing some more storms firing along a cold front that is way out to the west of us here. In fact, I'm going to zoom that out and show you because you'll be able to pick it out. There's a line of severe warnings. In fact, right out here, that's the cold front getting ready to make its way through the region over the next couple of days. And we'll have those storms coming through early this afternoon. We'll have more on that later on this morning on Local 6 Today. Join us for that. Thank you very much, guys.